Hello and welcome to the Great North Gardener. Albert here, and today we're diving into a gardener's bane weeds. They compete for nutrients, water and sunlight, making gardens messy. But don't worry, this video is your ultimate guide. We'll explore 10 common weeds and how to tackle them, from identification to effective removal methods. Reclaim your space and let your plants shine. Whether you're a pro or newbie, you're in the right place. Grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's tackle these invaders together. By the end, you'll be a weed-whacking wizard. Alright, first up on our hit list, it's probably one of the most recognizable weeds out there, the dandelion. These guys are proper survivors, and you'll spot them in lawns, flower beds, and even popping up through cracks in the pavement. The key to understanding dandelions is their super-duper long taproot. The best method is good old-fashioned removal, but you've got to get that entire taproot. Use a special dandelion weeding tool or a narrow trowel to dig down carefully around the base and gently loosen the soil until you can pull the whole thing out. Regular mowing and a good layer of mulch can also help prevent them from setting seed. Next up, we've got a real sneaky one, and it's called crabgrass. It's an annual grass that loves to spread out and ruin that lovely uniform look we all strive for. Prevention is definitely better than cure when it comes to crabgrass. Maintain a thick, healthy lawn with regular feeding, proper mowing height, and overseeding any thin patches. If crabgrass has already gatecrashed your garden party, hand-pulling young plants can help. For larger infestations, pre-emergent herbicides applied in early spring can create a barrier that stops the seeds from sprouting. Oh boy, now we're talking about one of the real heavyweights of the weed world. Bindweed. This stuff is relentless. It's a climbing, twining perennial vine with arrowhead-shaped leaves and pretty trumpet-like flowers. The real challenge with bindweed is its extensive root system. The most effective organic method is to meticulously dig out as much of the root system as you possibly can. Constantly removing any new growth as soon as it appears will gradually deplete the root's energy reserves. Covering the affected area with black plastic or thick cardboard can also help block out light and eventually kill the plant. Alright, let's chat about clover. You'll recognize it by its distinctive three-lobed leaves and little clusters of white or pinkish flowers. Clover is actually pretty beneficial for your soil as it fixes nitrogen, making it available for other plants. However, if you prefer a pure grass lawn, make sure your lawn is well fed with a good quality lawn fertilizer. Hand pulling can be effective for smaller areas, especially after rain when the soil is soft. Regular mowing, which removes the flower heads before they can set seed, can help to gradually reduce its presence. Next on our list is chickweed. This one is a low-growing, sprawling annual plant with small, oval-shaped leaves. It produces tiny little white, star-shaped flowers. Hand pulling is often very effective, especially if you catch it early. A hoe can also be your friend here. Just lightly skim the surface of the soil to uproot young chickweed seedlings. To prevent chickweed from taking hold, a good layer of organic mulch can work wonders in your garden beds. In lawns, maintaining a healthy, dense sward of grass will make it harder for chickweed to establish. Right, brace yourselves, because this next one can be a bit prickly to deal with, literally. We're talking about thistles. Identifying thistles is usually pretty easy thanks to those unmistakable spines. For individual thistle plants, digging them out can be very effective. Use a sturdy spade or a long weeding tool to dig down deep around the plant and lever it out. Dealing with creeping thistle is more of a challenge due to its spreading roots. Persistence is key with thistles. Don't let them get established, and tackle them as soon as you spot them. Chapter 7. Plantain problems, not the banana kind. This is a common lawn weed, also known as broadleaf plantain. It forms a low-growing rosette of broad, oval-shaped leaves. For individual plants or small patches, hand-pulling or digging them out with a narrow trowel or a weeding tool is a good option. Aerating your lawn can help to relieve soil compaction, making it less hospitable for plantain and healthier for your grass. Regular mowing will also prevent the plantain from setting seed. Maintaining a thick, healthy lawn is always your best defense against most lawn weeds, including this one. Alright, let's talk about a real spreader, a weed that can quickly form a dense carpet if you let it ground ivy. It's a low-growing, creeping perennial plant with scalloped or kidney-shaped leaves. Controlling ground ivy can be a bit of a battle. Persistent hand-pulling can work, but you need to be really diligent and try to trace back all the runners and remove every rooted section. Improving air circulation and sunlight to affected areas can make conditions less favorable for ground ivy. There are selective broadleaf herbicides that can be effective against ground ivy in lawns, but always follow the instructions to the letter. Now for a weed that often gets mistaken for a grass, but it's a whole different kettle of fish nutsedge. It spreads by rhizomes and produces little tubers or nutlets on its roots. If you only have a few nutsedge plants, you can try digging them out. Improving soil drainage can help make conditions less favorable for nutsedge over the long term. There are some specific herbicides formulated to control sedges, so if you go down that route, make sure you get the right product. Persistence is absolutely crucial with nutsedge. It's not a weed that gives up easily. Last but certainly not least on our common weed tour, we have creeping Crawly. It spreads vigorously by sending out stolons or runners that creep along the surface of the soil and root down at the nodes. Persistent hand pulling is your first port of call. Increasing sunlight and improving air circulation in affected areas can help make the environment less hospitable for creeping Crawly. Maintaining a thick, healthy lawn will also provide competition. If you're considering chemical controls, look for broadleaf herbicides that specifically list creeping Crawly or ground ivy on their label. Phew! And there we have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of 10 common garden weeds and how you can start to get the upper hand. From dandelions to bindweed and crabgrass, we've covered a fair bit of ground, haven't we? Remember, successful weed control is knowing what you're dealing with, choosing the right method, and persistence. Don't get disheartened. Gardening is an ongoing conversation with nature. Hopefully, you're now feeling more confident about tackling those unwanted visitors. Whether pulling and digging or using mulch, there's always something you can do. Enjoy your garden. Dealing with weeds is just part of creating a beautiful space. Right then, that's all from me, Albert, at the Great North Gardener for this episode. I hope you found this guide helpful. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if there are any other pesky weeds you're struggling with. Thanks for watching. Happy gardening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now. Welcome back, Green Thumbs. Before you go, let's dive into an essential topic that can make your gardening journey even more rewarding: organic weed control methods. Not only are these techniques kinder to the environment, but they also help maintain the natural balance in your garden. So, let's explore some tips and tricks for keeping those pesky weeds at bay, naturally. First up, consider using mulch. Organic mulches like straw, wood chips, or even grass clippings can create a barrier that prevents weed seeds from germinating. Plus, as they break down, they add valuable nutrients to your soil. Next, try companion planting. Certain plants like marigolds and basil can deter weeds and pests when planted alongside your vegetables. This not only helps with weed control, but also promotes a healthier garden overall. Hand pulling and hoeing are classic methods that never go out of style. Ensure you remove the entire root to prevent regrowth. For larger areas, a flame weeder can be a great tool to zap weeds without chemicals. Lastly, keep your soil healthy. A well-maintained garden with rich, fertile soil is less likely to be overrun by weeds. Regularly adding compost and practicing crop rotation can work wonders. Remember, patience and consistency are key. Organic weed control may take a bit more effort, but the results are worth it. A thriving, vibrant garden free of harmful chemicals. That's it for today. I hope these organic methods inspire you to tackle your garden weeds naturally. If you have any organic tips or success stories, share them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode of The Great North Gardener. Happy gardening and see you next time. Welcome back, garden enthusiasts. In this segment, let's delve into a topic that's crucial for the health of your garden ecosystem: the impact of weeds on garden biodiversity. While some weeds might seem harmless, they can significantly affect the growth of other plants and disrupt the delicate balance of your garden. Weeds often compete with your plants for essential resources like water, sunlight, and nutrients. This competition can stunt the growth of your beloved flowers, fruits, and vegetables. For example, aggressive weeds like bindweed and Japanese knotweed can quickly overtake garden beds, leaving little room for other plants to thrive. Moreover, certain weeds can alter the soil composition, making it less hospitable for other plants. For instance, some weeds release chemicals into the soil that inhibit the growth of nearby plants, a phenomenon known as allelopathy. This can be particularly problematic in gardens with a diverse range of plant species. So, what can gardeners do to manage this? Firstly, regular monitoring and early intervention are key. Catching weeds before they become a major problem can save you a lot of trouble down the line. Hand pulling and hoeing, as mentioned earlier, are effective for small infestations. For larger areas, consider using cover crops. These plants can outcompete weeds and improve soil health at the same time. Another strategy is to maintain dense plantings. By keeping your garden beds full, you leave less room for weeds to establish themselves. Finally, fostering a healthy garden ecosystem can naturally keep weed populations in check. Encourage beneficial insects and microorganisms by avoiding chemical pesticides and using organic matter to enrich your soil. Understanding the role of weeds in your garden's biodiversity is essential for maintaining a balanced and thriving ecosystem. By managing weeds thoughtfully, you can ensure that all your plants have the best chance to flourish. That's all for today's segment. If you found this information helpful, give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with all our gardening tips and tricks. Until next time, happy gardening. Welcome back, garden warriors. Let's take a moment to recap the key points we've discussed in this video. We've explored the various types of weeds that can invade your garden and the best methods to control them. From the stubborn dandelions and the relentless crabgrass to the thorny thistles and the creeping Crawly, each weed presents its own unique challenge. Remember, for dandelions, hand pulling and ensuring you get the root is crucial. Crabgrass can be tackled with pre-emergent herbicides and regular mowing. For those thorny thistles, wearing gloves and using a weeding tool will save your hands from a prickly fate. And don't forget, creeping Crawly requires persistence and possibly a selective herbicide to keep it at bay. We've also touched on natural weed control methods, like using cover crops to outcompete weeds and maintaining dense plantings to leave no room for these unwelcome guests. Plus, fostering a healthy garden ecosystem can naturally keep weed populations in check. Understanding the impact of weeds on garden biodiversity is essential for maintaining a balanced and thriving ecosystem. By managing weeds thoughtfully, you can ensure that all your plants have the best chance to flourish. Now, it's time to take action. Get out there and reclaim your garden. Whether you're pulling weeds by hand, using natural methods, or employing a bit of chemical help, every effort counts. Your garden is a reflection of your hard work and dedication, and with these tips, you're well on your way to a weed-free paradise. So, grab your gloves, your weeding tools, and your determination. Let's make those gardens beautiful and bountiful. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with all our gardening tips and tricks. Until next time, happy gardening.